Hi everyone, it's Miss Greta, school-based occupational therapist. In this video today, I'm going to talk about fine motor skills and give you an overview of the importance and the significance of building these fine motor skills in your preschool and kindergarten age children. A lot of this information I'm also going to kind of touch upon in some of my shorter videos where I do specific skill sets, but this is kind of just an overview. So fine motor skills are the small motor movements in the fingers and hands that are utilized to perform multiple tasks throughout a child's school day. They involve pinch, grasp, release, and manipulation of objects. Why are they so significant and how are they used? Fine motor skills are used for children to utilize an appropriate pencil grasp. They're used to control pre-writing and handwriting skills. They're used for coloring, scissor skills, and any kind of fine motor manipulation throughout the school day. They're also used for things at home and at school, such as utensil use for feeding, opening containers and cartons, opening milk cartons and straws, opening the clasp on their lunchbox, and also for dressing, snaps, buttoning, zipping, eventually tying their shoes, and any kind of clothing management all use fine motor skills. Why are they so important? Fine motor skills and the utilization of these skills make up between 36 and 66% of all the activities which a child participates in a kindergarten school day. So up to 2/3 of their day, they're doing these fine motor skills and utilizing them for tasks. They're needed to successfully engage in numerous childhood performance areas, like I mentioned, self-care, play, and even socialization. The children are building these skills alongside their peers, but they're also working on socialization tasks. So it's important that they feel confident in utilizing their fine motor skills while they're also building their other skills. And functional handwriting positively correlates with a student's academic success over the duration of their entire school career. So we want to lay the foundation and build these fine motor skills and have them be as strong as possible. And this will reflect and impact the child's education moving forward. How are fine motor skills relevant to handwriting skills? And what's so important about building these handwriting skills so early on? Successful handwriting involves skills in fine motor area, in the perceptual motor area, and actually looking at what they're seeing and then writing down what they're seeing and that whole process that's going through their brain, in motor coordination and coordinating the muscle movements to write accurately. Cognitively, they need to process the words and the letters and the shapes and the forms that they're writing. They need to have motor planning, which is learning new tasks and new skills. Children need to have a good attention to task. A lot of distractions happen in the classroom, not only for adults, but for children as well. And if these fine motor skills are strong and efficient and well developed, a child can use some of that energy towards working on attention to task if their fine motor skills are a little more automatic. They need to utilize intrinsic hand movements, which is the small motor movements within the hand themselves. They need to maintain their posture, which is a gross motor control, and we talk about that in another video. They also need to process all the sensory information that's coming in from their teacher, from things they're seeing, from holding the pencil, from keeping their posture nice and straight. And they also need to use dynamic hand movements, which is hands making these movements together and individually, and also bilateral integration, which is using two hands together. So their non-dominant hand will be holding their paper and their dominant hand will be writing down what they need to write down. Needs in handwriting performance are seen in 25 to 33% of elementary school students. So it's so important to address these skills early on. And like I said before, handwriting success is dependent upon an appropriate pencil grasp, as well as control and dynamic hand movements. So why are we focusing on supporting these integral skills as early as possible? Because pencil grasp, visual perception, and fine motor coordination are all foundational. We need to lay the foundation with these skills for gaining functional handwriting skills moving forward. And I found another study that was interesting, that the pen and paper approach to handwriting and learning letters and learning handwriting far exceeds results with iPad use for learning letter formation and orientation in primary age school children. Now, I'm not discounting that it's not a good form of education for children to use an iPad or a tablet or a phone to learn letters or to learn things such as connect the dot or any areas like that. But what I'm saying is, when they're actually using a pencil and a piece of paper to do these movements, they're getting all that feedback through their whole body and through their arms and through their posture, versus just utilizing one finger on a tablet to swipe. Because when they're doing that, all the other motor movements in their body aren't gaining the proper feedback that they need. So looking at the big picture, hand skills developed in the preschool and kindergarten years provide the foundation for higher level skills, including handwriting and academic subjects. And even a short-term intervention, even you practicing these skills with your child at home for a couple days a week, or maybe 20 minutes a day for a couple weeks prior to them starting school, or maybe the first few months of school, it can have positive effect on fine motor and visual motor skill performance with regard to handwriting readiness in these kindergarten age students. And something else that is so important is confidence. Children with improved functional skills will be confident, and they'll feel so much more successful. Even though all children are not going to have skills at the same level, as long as children continue to build and improve and maximize their performance where they're at with each of these skills, that's going to build their confidence and make them so much happier with their success in the classroom. And also, strong fine motor skills have been linked to success with both math and reading achievement in subsequent grades. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about pencil grasp, although I will have another video that's going to completely address only pencil grasp and the importance of it. So the developmental process of a child as they go from an infant to a toddler to a preschool age year to kindergarten, they start first by gaining postural control and the core of their body. So they start by rolling over, then eventually they're going to sit up, and eventually they're going to crawl. So their muscles are going to get stronger from the middle of their body outwards, more laterally. So they're going to gain control in their shoulders and their core first, and then their arms, and then their elbows, their forearms, their hands, and eventually their fingers. The refinement of fine motor skills happens between ages 3 and 6. That's when they're going to get the most refined and the best performance and development of those skills. So that's why it's so important to do tasks and activities in the preschool years and through kindergarten. So when a child is writing, eventually we want to see an age-appropriate grasp, which is a tripod grasp, which is using these 3 fingers, the tri, 1, 2, 3, to hold the pencil like this, and the other 2 fingers will get tucked into their hand. We want the pinky side of their hand to set down on the paper. So it's going to look like this. Are there some children and are there some adults who might have a modified grasp? Yes, there are some children and some adults that do have a slightly modified grasp, but we really want to achieve this tripod grasp because it's the most comfortable grasp, it yields the best control in handwriting, and it helps with the fluid motion. Now, there might be some deviations or modifications which are very functional for children, and that's okay, but we really want to encourage pinky side down, 3 fingers on the pencil, and a nice fluid motion through the wrist and the hand. Now, some children are a little bit younger when they start kindergarten, or they might not have as much experience with holding a pencil or writing. So you might see a digital grasp where they're using all their fingers on the pencil, and that's okay. That's an emerging grasp. What we would like to not encourage is the thumb side down and a palmar grasp on the pencil. We really would like to encourage holding it with their fingers and the pinky side down on the paper. And this is something that will come eventually. And it's okay if they're at different levels and developmentally, not perfected the tripod grasp yet, but we really want to see that. And that's just a brief overview of fine motor skills and their importance. And if you could watch my other videos, I would appreciate it, where I break down some of these tasks and give you some ideas to use at home with your child. I appreciate it. And again, my name is Miss Greta, and I'm an occupational therapist, and I work in a school-based setting. All right, thank you very much. Goodbye.